One of the most important things of running a business is making sales. And one of the best ways to do it is using social media, specifically video content. So I am bringing a brand new series all about sales content, the Video Sales School. Has a nice ring to it, right? So you can watch episodes over on my YouTube channel at Shine with Natasha, or you can listen on the go over on the Shine Online podcast. So in the first episode of this 4-part series, I am going to be sharing 6 common mistakes that I see people making with their sales content and exactly how to fix them. If you're new to me, I am Natasha of Shine with Natasha. I've been a social media manager. I've been a strategist behind really big brands and launches. I've sold everything from physical products to digital products to services. And I'm going to be sharing everything in this series. It's going to be a deep dive and it's going to be so good. So let's dive right on in. Mistake number 1, which luckily is such an easy fix, is just posting once or twice about your offers and thinking that is going to get you sales. I'm going to introduce the 10 plus piece of content rule, which essentially means that most people to convert or to buy, they typically do it once they've consumed over 10 pieces of content. And I say this not to overwhelm you, but for it to actually comfort you that the more and more that you show up, the more consistent you are, and the more you talk about your offers, the more sales you're going to generate. One touch point, one piece of content is not enough. So be okay with taking up space and talking about what it is that you have to offer. This is where we want to let things like perfectionism go by the wayside, because if you are always aiming to create new and groundbreaking and perfectly edited and created video content, that is going to hold you back from just posting and showing up and creating content. So post the draft, post it even if it's messy or imperfect, knowing that every piece of content is making an impact. Mistake number 2 that I see all of the time with my clients is selling how you buy. There are actually 4 different types of buyers on social media. Just to brief over this, because I have a deep dive lesson all about buyer types inside my mini conversions course, which is inside my video content camp program as a bonus resource, which you can check out in the show notes or the description of this video. But some people are buyers that need to know every stat, every analytic, every fact, every FAQ to buy. There's people that just feel like they need to know you and feel connected to you and actually like you, like that influences their decision more than ever. And then there's the random lurker that like comes across that you see makes a purchase and you've literally never seen engage with your content. You've never seen their little bubble pop up and they come out of nowhere. These are all different types of buyers. So chances are, as I've been reviewing this, you've identified, oh, I definitely buy this way over a different way. And what I see is that people create, oh, well, I need to know all the stats and information, so that's what I need to create my content about. Or I just want to feel connected with people, so that's the only type of content I create. But you want to make sure you're really creating a well-rounded strategy where you're connecting with people, where you're building offer awareness, where you're consistently showing up for the lurkers, even when you literally cannot see them. And also where you're sharing all the details about your offer, because you will be able to touch all of your bases. Touch all of your bases? Cover all of your bases. And kind of like a bonus mistake that I wanted to add on to this section is selling in your language and not your ideal client's language. As experts, it's really easy to get in our jargon bag, which I am so guilty of like saying terms and words that we understand, but literally completely go over our ideal client's head. So how can you simplify? How can you speak their language when you're selling and not try to make things look shinier than they actually are? Okay, mistake number 3 is only creating one type of sales content. And this is where the video strategy is really going to come in. Don't get me wrong, I love a good podcast. I love writing emails. I love all types of content. I think they serve a role in the sales process, but they're all one-dimensional, right? You're reading or you're listening. But video content is what I like to call vibey content, right? It includes everything from movement to audio to text. product. So if you sell a product, people can fully experience what those product features look like. If you offer a service, people can see your process or your projects in real time. And if you offer coaching or consulting, people can literally see what it's like to be coached by and learn from you. I'm not saying you have to get rid of any of your other types of content, but you want to make sure you're adding in video because people learn, feel, connect, and buy differently with video. If you are loving these tips so far, I highly recommend joining us inside the video content camp. My goal is to help my clients inside this program create a low-lift video strategy that converts. And inside the program, you get coaching from me, you get the curriculum, workbook resources, our calendar of events, and like I mentioned, that conversions mini course where I share all of my best launching and sales strategies in mini course form. So if you're launching in Q4 or Q1 or literally anytime and you're just wanting to promote your offers no matter what they are, I definitely recommend joining us inside the camp, and I will leave all the details in the show notes or description. Okay, on to mistake 4, which I feel like might surprise people since I am a video social media person, but the mistake is only relying on social media to sell. What I see people do is they put all of their eggs in one basket. Like, I'm going to rely on Instagram to bring in all of my sales. But then if they have low views or launch slumps, they don't really have anything else to rely on. And that's why personally for my strategy is I actually love using video to, yes, directly lead to sales, but to actually lead to other parts of my sales process, like my email list or a wait list or webinar registrations. This allows me to be not only sharing video content with them, but also for them to be getting my emails. So we're using 2 or more platforms together to give them multiple options and touch points to convert, which ties us back to the first mistake that I shared. And I know a lot of people are like, just use email because you own all of your subscribers, but where do the people come from for your email list, right? They go hand in hand. And when you're able to use 2 or more platforms, it literally could be Instagram and a podcast or TikTok and an email list. They go together to support your sales. Okay, mistake number 5 is one of my biggest pet peeves, and it is not optimizing your conversion flow. So how do people go from your content to actually converting? So if someone has to click more than 3 times to actually buy something or to apply or to check out, you're going to lose them. And that means that your flow is not optimized. So this is where optimizing your profile comes in of what link are you including in your bio? Is it a direct link to your sales page? If you are including a link tree, do you have things clearly labeled so people know exactly where to go? Are you using your bio to tell people if you want to work with me, go to the link in my bio? Do you have a highlight with a link sticker talking about your offers? I know I am not alone in finding something that I want to buy or invest in and then literally going on a rabbit hunt to actually take that next step and purchase. So you don't want your conversion flow to be longer or harder than it needs to be on your clients. So literally go through it yourself. If I wanted to invest in one of your main offers, if I wanted to buy your product, what steps do I need to go through and how can you simplify and guide people down the right path? Keeping in mind, going back to the previous tip, if the main place that you want people to convert is a webinar, make it really easy for me to join your webinar. And let's wrap it up with mistake number 6, going into salesperson mode with your content, especially during launches. What I see people do is when they're in a launch or a campaign and promotion mode, they do this like salesperson switch up where they lead into 100% pre-scheduled, pre-planned, kind of sterile, boring sales content. And they never actually show up in their launch. Adding things like video content into the mix really brings energy to your launch so you can convert your warmest leads and keep the momentum of the launch going. So can you use stories as a place to answer frequently asked questions or go live on the common objections that you're getting? I love using graphics and pre-scheduled content to make my launches super easy and streamlined, but don't be afraid to add a little razzle dazzle to your content. And if you're having fun with your launch content, people are going to feel that energy and want to buy what you're selling. So that is a wrap on part 1 of the Video Sales School series. Be sure to stay tuned for the next part in this series where I'm going to talk all about calls to action and why, yes, every piece of content should have them, but how to do them in a way that's not link in bio to buy. And if you want to binge more content like this, I highly recommend starting with my previous series, the Back to Basics series. It's so good.